What if you opened your eyes on the morning of June 6, 1944? The sky is low. The beaches are gray, swept by the wind. Before you, the unknown. Around you, the nervous silence of those who are only 20. Kids, brothers, sons. They tremble, but they move forward. The icy water rises to their knees. In the distance, the low rumble of airplane engines. Then the waves crash. The barges creak. Shouted orders are lost in the wind. And suddenly, silence. A held breath. Just before the chaos. Just before hell. That day, history shifts. Europe holds its breath. The whole world clings to its memory. Today, we're going to relive every minute. This isn't just a documentary. It's an immersion, a journey, a return to the heart of the longest day. So, ready to land? Imagine, you are in 1944. Europe is enduring its 5th year of war. 5 long years of fear, violence, occupations, and resistance. Nazi Germany controls much of the continent. France has been under the grip of the occupier for 4 long years. In the east, the Red Army is gaining ground. Slowly but surely, the Soviets are dangerously closing in on Germany's borders. After the bloody defeats at Stalingrad and Kursk, the Nazi war machine is retreating, exhausted, weakened. In the West, one question haunts every mind. When will the Allies strike? To reach that day, it's about faces, voices, decisions that could change everything. Dwight Eisenhower, the supreme commander of the Allied forces, a general with a calm demeanor but under immense pressure. In his pocket, he carried a speech prepared in case the invasion failed. He was ready to take full responsibility alone. On the eve of D-Day, he visited American paratroopers. He joked with them, shook hands, put on a brave face, but his fingers were trembling. Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, the German commander in charge of Normandy's defenses. A brilliant strategist, he knew the invasion was coming, but didn't know when or where. He wanted to crush the Allies in the first hours, right on the beaches. The irony? On June 6th, he wasn't there. He had returned home to Germany for his wife's birthday. And then there are the men in the shadows. Philippe Kiefer, commander of the French No. 4th Commando. 177 Frenchmen who landed with the British on Sword Beach. Their motto? Do not submit. They were the first Frenchmen to set foot on occupied French soil. For months, the weight has been unbearable. The Americans, British, and Canadians are secretly preparing the most ambitious operation of the entire war. Operation Overlord, a massive invasion by sea on the Normandy coast. 175,000 men, 5,000 ships, 10,000 aircraft, an army of shadows ready to liberate Europe. The decision was made in Tehran, late 1943. Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin agree. A second front must be opened in the West to relieve the Soviets and strike the Reich head-on. But the French coasts are fortified. The Atlantic Wall, built by Hitler, stretches for thousands of kilometers. Bunkers, traps, weapons aimed at the sea. And yet, it is here, in Normandy, that everything will begin. The choice is strategic. The beaches are accessible. The enemy expects it less. And above all, it's close enough to England to send reinforcements quickly. The night of June 5th to 6th, it's raining. The sky is black. The sea is rough. But the soldiers board the ships. Some pray, others weep. All know that this day will change the world. D-Day arrives, and no one knows if they'll see tomorrow. 4:15 a.m. American paratroopers from the 101st and 82nd Airborne drop into the pitch-black night, often far from their intended zones. Some land in marshes, others fall right into enemy villages. Their mission: disrupt German lines before the landing. Disoriented, isolated, but they hold firm. 5 a.m., Allied bombers pound the coast. But the fortifications at Omaha hold strong. To the east, at Sword, Gold, and Juno, the defenses give way more easily. 6:30 a.m., Omaha Beach, the bloodiest beach of D-Day. The metallic clank of a landing craft ramp dropping, and then chaos. The first waves of American soldiers land under ferocious crossfire. Bullets whistle, shells explode, the water turns red. Commanders shout, some soldiers don't even make it out of the water.
It was a slaughter. Guys were jumping, screaming, sinking, and we kept moving forward without thinking.
The German defenses are intact. No cover, no escape. At Utah, currents have pushed the troops off course. But an American colonel, Theodore Roosevelt Jr., 56, son of the former president, makes a bold decision. He charges forward, cane in hand, straight toward the enemy. 7:30 a.m. at Omaha. It's hell. Amphibious tanks sink. Commandos are pinned down. Raymond Lambert, a combat medic at Omaha Beach, recalls,
I saw a soldier with his stomach torn open. He looked at me and said, "Don't help me, help the others." I held his hand. He died before I could respond.
a terrible dilemma. Advance into the open or die in place. It's the sergeants, lieutenants, and regular soldiers who step up. Sword Beach. British troops reach Ouistreham. Philippe Kiefer and his men raise the French tricolor flag over a casino-turned fortress.
On ne voyait plus les balles, mais on savait qu'elles étaient là, et on a continué, parce que c'était la France.
10:30 a.m., Omaha Beach is still hell. Nothing is going as planned. Men are falling, the operation is on the verge of failure. And then, in the heart of the chaos, a group of American soldiers, led by mere sergeants, not generals, not strategists, decides to defy orders. They climb the cliff, by hand, under fire, without reinforcements. They take the initiative. They break through the German line.
We no longer had orders. We only had an instinct. Move forward or die here.
This moment wasn't in the plans, but it changes everything. It saves the mission. Without them, the landing could have failed. 12 p.m. The beaches are taken, but not secured. Snipers lie in wait. Machine gun nests are active. The Allies dig in, advance, fall. Starting at 2 p.m., reinforcements arrive in droves. Hundreds of ships unload tons of equipment. Tanks, ammunition, fuel, tools, and supplies. The beaches of Omaha, Gold, Juneau, Sword, and Utah are transformed into massive logistical hubs. Bulldozers are brought ashore and immediately set to work. Temporary roads are laid on the sand to allow vehicles to move without getting stuck. Meanwhile, medical teams improvise aid stations. The Allies aim to turn the beachhead into a solid base. The first inland positions begin to be connected by rudimentary roads. Inland, the German High Command, caught off guard by the scale of the landing, launches a counterattack. Around 4 p.m., armored units from the 21st Panzer Division move out from east of Caen. Their objective? Push the Allies back to the sea before they can establish a firm foothold. But Allied intelligence, supported by constant aerial reconnaissance, quickly detects these movements. A veritable carpet of bombs rains down on the German columns. Tanks are hit, roads are cut off. The enemy's advance is halted before even reaching the coastal zone. This attack marks a turning point. The German forces lose the initiative on the Normandy front. But this deluge of fire does not spare civilians. On this day, June 6, 1944, the Norman towns are heavily struck by Allied bombings. Caen, Saint-Lô, Lisieux, Vire, Coutances, and Falaise are largely destroyed. In Caen, the bombings raze entire neighborhoods without dislodging the German troops, who hold out for several more weeks. In Saint-Lô, later nicknamed the capital of ruins, 95% of the town is devastated. The cost of liberation is terrible for the local populations, caught in the crossfire. While the airstrikes pave the way for the landings, they also leave behind a landscape of desolation. 9 p.m. Night falls on the blood-soaked beaches. The sun sets on the horizon, tinting the channel red. The beaches are now under Allied control, but the ground is unstable. Shells have churned the earth. Not all the mines have been neutralized. Everywhere, bodies. Over 10,000 Allied soldiers fell that day. Nearly 4,000 did not survive. Thousands of wounded litter the dunes, some still conscious, others already being tended to. But the essential is achieved. The Allies hold the ground. Despite fierce resistance, despite the losses, the front lines have held firm. The greatest amphibious operation in history has succeeded in its first phase. occupied Europe has just witnessed the birth of hope for liberation. June 6th comes to an end. The beaches are taken. But the war, far from over, rages on. The Allies have achieved the unthinkable. They have held the coast. In less than 24 hours, they set foot on occupied Europe. But at what cost? Over 10,000 soldiers fell, wounded, or missing. On Omaha Beach alone, nearly 3,000 men never left the sand. On the civilian side, around 3,000 innocent Normans lost their lives under the bombings. And yet, this is only the beginning. In the days that follow, the fighting continues. The Norman towns are liberated one by one. Caen, Bayeux, Saint-Lô, but at what price? The human cost is staggering, yet France is gradually freed, centimeter by centimeter. It is the beginning of the end for the Third Reich. The Allied advance is unstoppable, and freedom takes root again on the old continent. Raymond Lambert, the medic from Omaha, survived. He saved dozens of men, despite his own wounds, but his story long remained unknown. It wasn't until 2019, at the age of 98, that he returned to Normandy, standing tall facing the sea. They didn't land to conquer. They landed to liberate. That day, 18-year-olds changed the world. Not for themselves, for others, for us. If you're still here, it's because this story touched you. So do me a real favor, like the video. It might be a small gesture for you, but it helps me tremendously to keep delivering quality work. And above all, tell me in the comments, what moment struck you the most? I read every message, and it gives me the strength to continue this work of remembrance. If you want more stories like this, subscribe, turn on the bell. Here, we bring history back to life with respect, with heart, and unfiltered. Thank you. And above all, never forget, history never dies as long as we tell it.